Perfect. All right, I did open up the coffee. Ironically, it says it supports focus, which is funny. We were just talking about that. Caffeine does not do that. Caffeine does not support focus. Ironically, it lowers your vibe to where you will feel aggression from it at times coming in and off of it, which might get you to focus. But that's really an illusion. Actually, caffeine gives you brain fog. Drugs give you brain fog. It kills your ability to focus. And the aggression that you get from drugs is the high. As in that when you get high on a drug, you're actually getting low. Everything's reversed in this world. So when you do a drug, you get low. And a lot of people feel good when they start to get out of it. Like you get so stoned that you're scared, but once you start to come out of it, you're like, oh, thank God. And people actually get addicted to the feeling of getting better like that. I know that sounds weird, but like when I used to do meth, I used to love the feeling of after the meth was gone and I was kind of healing, but then I get high again. But there's actually a certain part of me loving the damage and healing. I'm Scorpio. I have a lot of Scorpio. Scorpio learns through self-detriment, and they regrow from the ashes. They get stronger, and there's a truth to that. But a lot of that you need to have while going forward towards your goals. And drugs is a cycle you get stuck in because you get that same effect, but you don't actually go anywhere. So there's a certain effect of you climb the mountain and then you got to heal to climb the next mountain, but you never really climbed a mountain. You just sat there and got high, which will tell you that's how dopamine and stuff works, which is, pleasure, you get rewarded. But there's an inverted shadow side to it that nobody's taking accounting for, which is not just you get high and feel good. Sometimes you feel good from coming off the high in a way that you won't admit, but it's true. You will admit if you've broken those cycles and you can look at it from a higher perspective. But if you're in those cycles, you won't understand that because you're stuck in it. And that shadow side is always the side that's ruling you and causing these problems in life. There's always a shadow side to everybody that is the reason for where they're at. And a lot of people are all about love and light. And I'm going to tell you right now, almost all my progress and success and achievement in handling the fucking obstacles really came from mastering on my dark side, working on my shadow self, saying, Dyer, you're a little bit of a coward and a bitch. Let all these people walk on you. Had to get over that. You're kind of a people pleaser. Gotta get over that. Like I had to admit to not the, problem came up. It's okay. Oh, no, I faced that problem. And then I just got deeper into just facing more of that shit. And at the end of it, I popped out and whoa, whole other person. When I go do something, there's a certain level of inertia of everything's going to go my fucking way. And the reason why it's going to go my way is because when other people walk up and they have that same mentality, like I said earlier, if you watched my last video, I have that aggression of knowing what I'm capable of. I know my shadow self. When I walk towards my death and risked my life to save that Sag Aries next to me, I understood on a deep level that this person is a manifestation of my shadow self. Like this person I loved unconditionally because I knew he was me. And I never met him in this life, as in I never had access to me in my life yet. And after that day, I see myself, the characteristics, the attitude, that was in him is in me now. But it always was there. I just never took accountability for it. I didn't have the ability to wield it because it was a shadow. I didn't have grip on it. I didn't realize it was there. Like that's what shadow, it's like this thing that it's something you don't know. So you go, well, that's not true because what? Because what? You don't know. You don't know what you don't know. That's why it's so funny. There's parts of you don't know about. You want to be a famous actor? you might have that goal, right? And you say, I don't know how, but Dyer says I could be a famous actor, but everybody tells me I'm bland and boring. And you may be. But if you want to be an actor and you believe you could do it, life might do some really weird things in order for you to get there. And you might look at it and go, why are all these horrible things happening to me? Well, it's because you have a big dream and a big goal, and you will get it. And now you have to access parts of yourself that you didn't even know. Because what you want wants you. You are you when you're feeling good. And when you feel good about thinking about being an actor, but you don't have any skills to be an actor, that's because your higher self knows things you don't. Like the fact that in past lives, you've got a lot of these skills. But we're going to have to wake them up out of you. Well, how does that happen? Well, you got to eliminate this shadow self, this ego that's kind of burying it under. So you'll walk through life, and all of a sudden, you'll learn how to be an actor when it comes to being a gangster. Oh, why is that? Because now you're facing situations where you have to be a gangster. Oh, that's cool. You'll have situations in life where you want to be an actor, and you're going to have to go through drama. That's why your girlfriend's cheating on you. So next time you're an actor, and you're in a scene where, okay, your girlfriend just fucked your best friend, go. You know how that feels. Seriously. I'm not kidding. So when you want things in life, the bigger the better. Just know when you want something and you're out of alignment with it, the other end of it is it's that same intensity reversed. So that's why it's important to handle your aggression. Because if you want new shoes and you go to the store and they don't have them, that's what happens. But you want to ask out this girl and you have so much, and you walk up and she's like, I would never date you. Right? You can feel it. You can feel how there's this thing you want. And the bigger it is, when you're not in alignment with it, you feel that amount of weight the other way. So, you really want it, but when you're not getting it, you're really fucking upset about it. When you kind of want something, you're kind of not upset about it when you don't get it. You understand? So, we're going to be talking about aggression. Again, I just drank this, so it's going to be fucking me up a little bit. But aggression allows you to focus. And I say that because it's important. Because 90% of the time in life, things aren't going great, are they? You know what I mean? Like, your life isn't like this, wah, la, 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 la. And not yet. You will get there. Because if you're only putting out positive vibes, your life will have to. By law of attraction, you're commanding the universe. Nothing happens by coincidence. You create everything. And everything is an indicator around you of what you're vibrating. If you're feeling good, I'll say this. I went to the Florida Keys. They all sucked. I would never, ever... I'm so happy to be me. When I went to the Florida Keys and I watched like millionaires on their yachts, they were miserable. And you'll say, well, Dyer, you just said everything around you is an indicator of what you're... This is material stuff. It doesn't even matter. But if you want material things, don't you want to be happy? Do you really want to be on a boat in a marina with a bunch of fake-ass bitches and gold diggers? That's what they were. I could tell. My intuition's never wrong. I looked at these people and I was like, whoa, none of these people are good. And I met Kevin Taylor Jones and he spotted me miles away. Like he could see me literally like a mile away because he does what I can do, which is he can look and scan things with his emotions. And he's like, oh, who's that guy? And we met and it's like, hi. And he's like, hi, And I got to stay on his sailboat, which was better. If I would have been on somebody else's yacht, they would have been like, drink another beer, and the wife's like, the instant you die, I'm taking all your shit. Like that's the energy of everybody. And I say that because that's not what you want, right? So a lot of those people did get a lot of that stuff through hard work, diligence, slicing throats, anybody that stands in their way, they got what they wanted. But how did they feel? How did they feel when doing those things? The whole way. So when they manifest their life off that foundation of it just is the whole time, which is not good. So understand, you do not want to stay in aggression. You never want to stay here. This is not an energy you want to stay in. It's not good. The longer you stay in it, the more of the is going to come in. But you can use it to focus. This is where you need to learn how to use it. This is why discipline is the hardest. And Saturn's in Aries, right? Saturn is the planet in life. When you're like 28 and you're wondering why the fuck is everything going downhill? Why is it so difficult? That's because Saturn's coming back around in the sign you were born in. It takes 28 years to come around. That's why people have midlife crises, because it's coming in smacking discipline in you. So you have new skills. You will appreciate Saturn more than any other planet in your life. You will appreciate discipline. As you can imagine, out of the 4 elements, fire sounds like an watch Avatar: The Last Airbender. In that show, the Fire Nation doesn't have any. They're like Nazi Germany. They're just destroying everything. It's an energy that's hard to be disciplined in. Imagine Dragon Ball Z. They're like fire gods. They can destroy planets with their hands. There's so much discipline that needs to be here that if they don't have it, it's so self-detrimental. My Saturn's in Aries, and it's a godsend because it's teaching me the discipline of Aries, aggression, fire. That's fucking mine energy. And as I said, I walked toward my death for an Aries, Sag, Aries. Born in the year of the fucking dragon. That's a reflection. That was my teacher. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. He was a physical manifestation of Saturn's in Aries. And so that energy is in me now, and I'm mastering that energy. So that's why I'm really good at teaching this topic, because it's something I didn't have access to when I was younger because I was getting disciplined in it. So I didn't have access to it. Now I'm mastering it better than anybody. So that's why it's important to listen to people that have what you want and have been where you are. This helps you focus. It really does help you focus. Using your 1144, this really helps you focus. Aggression allows you, when things happen in life, think about it. When something bad happens, you're aware that you're super focused on it. Like nothing else matters. You ever notice that? You ever notice when something happens and you're angry, that's the only fucking thing you're thinking about? Nothing matters besides that. When you learn how to steer that energy away from what you don't want and towards what you do want, you will become a master manifester at that day. Not people that are monks. Those monks that live on the hills, they don't have shit. They don't have riches or values or anything. I'd rather be a monk with a yacht. I don't want to be the guy on the yacht that's unhappy, and I don't want to be a monk with fucking nothing. And ironically, when you're feeling great, you don't really need anything. You don't really need anything. So there's a certain amount of wanting more, but not wanting to stay in a state of wanting more, because that's never satisfying. But if you're always in a state of super bliss, which is good, and then I say, how about you learn how to, fucking snowboard? Well, you're going to have to use a little bit of aggression snowboarding. You're not going to just be like, whoa, oops, slipped. You're going to have to be like, whoa, fuck, there's a tree. There's no tree, shit. You're going to have to do that. Name any sport where you're not using aggression. You're going to have to use it. You understand? It's good. It helps you get outside of your comfort zone, and now you have a bigger comfort zone. So it's important to use it. So let's say in life something happens. Let's say you go to your job and your manager's a bitch. You don't like your manager. And you don't like going to your job. You need to get angry. It would help if you actually got angry. If something happens, it would help for you to get angry about what it is. But no, you need to redirect it to what you do want. And you'll say, I'm going to get a better job. But you've been working at this job for 5 years. Oh, that's right. But your new manager sucks ass. There's a certain amount of, you're going to get angry enough, you're going to focus, you're going to take that focus on what you do want. You're going to turn your back to what you don't want. I'm not going to lie, that coffee's kicking my ass. And again, this does not help you focus. The evidence of it is it's hard for me to focus while I'm on this. What a fucking illusion. But let me give a better example than, being at a job. Ooh. Like right now, I'm trying to balance my energies out. Mostly because that drug's kicking my ass. But yeah, in life, let's say you're doing something and you're not happy. A lot of people, again, will focus on what they don't want. And they keep manifesting more of it. Because even though feeling good is a higher vibe, which means you're blasting out a lot of it, it's affecting everything with more ease. Things will work out to your benefit easier. Like everything will just, it's crazy. When I say heaven can be on earth, it can be. And when you really reach levels of bliss, you'll see that that's true. That you can have heaven on earth. And it's amazing. I've been there. I've been in 5D here on earth. And you know what it felt like when I was in 5D on earth? I couldn't get angry. I couldn't. It was amazing. I was literally at a house. I'm not going to tell this whole story, but I was in 5D. If anyone knows what that is, that's great. Experiencing it is different than reading about it. But 5D is a real thing that I felt here on earth. I've been in it a few times. And it's like nirvana bliss. It's like people could be around me threatening to stab the shit out of me. And I don't care. And they can't do it because I'm not in an energy where they can access that. These two magnets are pushing against each other. So even a guy with a gun, if he fired it, it wouldn't shoot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that sounds crazy, but that's the truth. At a certain level, that is the truth. But nobody here is starting out there. And so there is a certain amount of you need to know how to use aggression. Because you're here. You're in a bucket full of crabs, and everyone else is going to be tearing you down the instant you try to climb up. And the only way to do that is to get the fuck off me and then get out the bucket. And then forgive them, lower a ladder, and help them get out too. That's why forgiveness is important, because you're gonna have to fight these battles. That's gonna happen. And the deeper you understand about the occult knowledge of how this world really works, the more you go, yeah, that's very true. And even at the lower levels of you not understanding, just go out and be happy all day. Remember how I told you your number one goal is to feel better now? I want you to feel as good as you can. I would prefer if you were happy all day. Always like amazing. Like when you wake up, you shouldn't get angry. You know, when you wake up, you don't have to get angry. You could just, if you have to get angry, I guess. But I mean, honestly, you should just be able to feel good. And if you can't feel good, go take a walk. Takes some energy to take a walk, don't it? Go to the gym. Take some fucking to lift the weight. You're going to use your aggression. And afterwards, you're going to feel great. You see what I'm saying? You might have woke up tired. You go to the gym. You lift some fucking weights. One more. And then you feel great. Don't put the things down and punch somebody in the face, feel better. I'm just saying that if you do that correctly, guess what's going to happen? Things are going to come in to throw you off your energy. It's going to happen. That's when you'll understand spiritual warfare more than ever. But the point is, nobody even had to tell me that. My audio training was like, they didn't even mention it because they know that you're going to deal with it anyway. Might as well prepare you for the best foundation to get through it, which is when things happen in life, feel good as you can. So when something bad happens, know that this is going to be to my benefit. Seriously, when bad things happen, know that this is a good thing. That's the secret. When a bad thing happens, just know that this is a great thing. When my manager robbed me of all my money, I knew that this was a great thing. When I went to Raising Cane's and everybody was fake as fuck, I knew that this was a great thing. And example, I got in a car wreck. My car wrecked into the back of a Sierra truck. I just got done buying Sierra Cliff Bars at Target, thinking about fucking a girl named Sierra at my job. And then I ran into the back of a Sierra truck. All because there was a guy on the left of me who almost ran me off the road weeks earlier. So there was a guy in a minivan who went 3 lanes and almost wrecked me into oncoming traffic. But I said, no, fuck you. I'm not going to just let you push me and die. And then he was all like, what the fuck? You trying to run me off the road? And I was like, whoa, like you just went left lane, and almost drove me into oncoming traffic. And this psychopath thinks I did that to reverse. It was a narcissist. Anyway, and so now I'm at a stoplight and I look over and this guy, I don't know why, but my foot hit the gas. when I looked at this angry dude and I ran into the back of the Sierra truck and the guy in the minivan was like, oh, I got you now. And he flipped the car around. And so now I'm talking to this guy with the Sierra truck and he's all like, you wrecked into my car. Why would you do that? And then there's this other guy with sunglasses on going, yeah, I know this piece of shit. He tried to run me off the road like 3 weeks earlier. He's wrong, right? Like he's wrong. He tried to kill me 3 weeks earlier. This is a spiritual attack. I didn't know it. But I knew, because of my training, that no matter what, like, this whole situation is a situation where it's, like, almost impossible to feel good. Like, I wrecked in the back of this guy's car. There's a whole other guy over here going, yeah, I saw it all, little bitch. Like, he's literally just doing that. And it's like, I don't deserve any of this. And there was a point where I looked him in the eye and I said, you can fucking eat a fat fucking dick. Like, I don't know what I said. But I was like, I'm not going to sit here and have you, like, just say, yeah, little bitch, like, in my face. I was sick of it. I got sick and tired of having this guy. Like, he wasn't even involved. But he's right fucking here. Just right fucking here. And I'm already dealing with this dude, and now the cops are coming, and my feeling feels like, oh, I feel horrible. I feel like I'm being raped. Like, that's how I feel. Like, just getting raped by this guy with his aggression. And I said no, and I stood up for myself. And guess what happened? This story is not about me going, oh, that never happened. I didn't feel good at all. But I felt better now. This is a real story. What happened was, later on, I found out that the guy that owned that Sierra truck was trying to get me with ruining his tailgate or ruining his ball hitch. I was parked at a light and I ran into the back of his car going like a couple miles an hour. It punctured a hole in my license plate, then nothing to his truck. But he still tried to say that I fucked up his truck and try to get money out of me. So, an event happens. Guy's over here screaming at me. He's like, I saw the whole thing, blah, 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 blah. He's got a history of running people off the road. He's lying. It's all bullshit. But I feel better now. This guy in front of me is like all upset. I hit his, truck. It's my fault. It is my fault. But I know, just know, it's all going to work out. You don't know how. So don't think how. You will not be able to see how. 222. But I knew this was all going to be to my benefit, right? Have that mindset. Know that. And when he was yelling at me, I focused on what I wanted, which is I wanted to feel better now. I did not like the whole feeling of them pushing me down, using their aggression to push me lower. Like, I had this guy snapping on me, so I snapped back until he was able to, like, take a step back. I watched him take a step back because I was getting to that point where, like, I don't even give a fuck if I get an assault charge. Like, if I have to beat the shit out of you, like, I never had that energy, by the way. I was still a little bitch at this time. So this was a big moment for me. This was a big moment. I was still a little bitch. So when this happened, you know what I mean? And what happened was later on, more evidence showed that you're in the wrong. Look, this guy's going to get you for more money. Your insurance is going to go up. My insurance went up. And guess what happened? I became a truck driver. I got a Class A CDL. I went to trucking school and I signed all these documents. And they go, oh no, you got in a car wreck. We didn't see that. You can't be a truck driver if you got a car wreck. But guess what happened? Because I was feeling as good as I can the whole time and kept feeling better and felt good after that day. Not only did I become a truck driver, I got paid $200 a week more than every single person in my entire trucking class because I got into that wreck. Because the only company that would hire me was Swift. And Swift doesn't drive in 2 or 3 states. They drive all across America. So I got to have the actual truck driver experience, got to drive all across America, got to get paid $200 a week more than every single fucking my entire trucking class. And I graduated top of my class. I passed all 3 of my tests. I parallel parked. I did the entire, what's that called? When you have to do I'm going to call it an inspection. I had to inspect the entire truck. So I got the roughest inspection. I had to do a parallel park and I drove and I passed all 3 on my first try. I got a red hat. Nobody gets a fucking red hat. And when I drove back into trucking school, they honked the horns, which means, hey, somebody passed the test on their first try. Some people will go 8 times and they won't even pass the second test. and there'll be a dropout. I passed all 3. I manifested it. The cars on the road when I decided to take the test were all perfectly lined up, so I'd pass. When I parallel parked, it just played out to where it worked, even though I didn't know what I was doing. That's how manifesting works. So I have an experience. It's bad. I got in a wreck. It's my fault. I have a guy. He's screaming at me. He's like, this guy did this before. Nothing outside of me is good. And I used my aggression, and the result was I got paid $200 a week every week for like 9 months straight. I got to drive a truck in every single state. Like, I have stories that go above and beyond, and the foundation was that car wreck. And I knew. That's the difference. I knew that this was going to benefit me, and I switched my focus from what I didn't want to what I did want, which was at that moment to feel better now, which was doing what? Telling this guy to eat a fucking dick. And at any point in your day, there is a moment where feeling better now, if you think about what would make you feel better now, you'll know what to do. Don't try to mask the pain. Drugs do that. So I will admit that's a good tip. Some people think getting high and overeating and stuff like that is feeling better now. What they're really doing is masking the pain because they don't want to focus on their pain. But the truth is you are focusing on your pain. And that is why you're doing these activities to cover it up. But when you truly want to feel better now, when you truly know that this is something you would feel good about, this is a goal you would feel good about, and you achieve it, your power gets bigger and bigger. Belief level gets stronger and stronger. Your ability to know that things happen for you and benefit you gets bigger and bigger. And when things happen in your life that throw you out, and they will, you will walk through life and things are going to fucking try to knock you off your high vibe. Like I said, when you're down here, it's going to try to grab you. You don't know it. You won't even know that exists until you pretty much are about to get out of it. The instant I walked towards my death was pretty much the day where dark forces are like, if we don't grab this fucker now, there's no going back. And they knew that. And they gave me everything they got, and I still won. And now I'm at a point where when I walk down the street and some person looks at me, I look at them, and they can tell that, like, no. They can tell that, no. I don't give a fuck if there's 8 of them or 10 of them. That doesn't matter. I have no illusion because I've experienced bad things happening worked out to my benefit. Bad things happening played out against you, and it all worked out to my benefit. And when that happens over and over and over, the big snowball down the mountain gets so strong, there's nothing that's going to stop it. But in the beginning, it's hard. And that is why I want to talk about aggression, because you need to have this in the beginning. You will not rise up without knowing how to use your aggression. And the indicator is this, is look at any fucking loser at a job. There's a lot of people at jobs who don't know how to use their aggression. Or there's a bunch of narcissists who only use their aggression because they did figure out that this shit works, but they got lost in the dark side. Hard to see the dark side. They don't even know it. They're lost. Like their whole life is them not happy. You know, you're not winning. So you need to learn how to use your dark side. Aggression is very important. And I say that because it's so frowned upon in society, and it's set up that way. When you go to school and you're a kid and they're like, what's wrong? You don't like being here every fucking day for years and years, learning about shit that intuitively you know you don't want to be here for? That sucks. Go to the principal's office. Don't you have a problem? Go to the principal's office. Most of the drug addicts and the people that didn't succeed in school are actually farther ahead than most of the people that graduated, because there's a certain amount of their soul knew. I don't want to conform to this. Not all of them. Some of those drug addicts are bad people, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying a lot of people that didn't pass school, graduate college, is because there's a certain amount of soul. When I see somebody that has a lot of heart or a lot of soul, to me, it's more of a reflection of their aggression energy, their ability to care for themselves, enough to the point where you're not going to use me as a fucking slave, or I'm not going to do that, or you're not going to talk to me like that. When I see somebody that has that, I have a lot of respect. When I see somebody that's just a narcissist, I have no respect. But I'm not kidding. Like, I love and adore, when I look at an animal, like I used to have a little dog, And I loved my little dog stood up to a gigantic Russian security guard in the hood of St. Louis. You know, it wasn't like that. He was just playing with me. But I watched my little dog be like, "You're not going to hurt my master." It's inspiring. You could see it. We watch movies where we love a character that stands up. You know, Vegeta in Dragon Ball Z is kind of too much. He's a little too much. He is. He's too much in that energy, and that is why he loses to Goku. Because Goku does have that love. And he does fight for others. But there is a side to Goku where he won't give up, and he's not afraid. And that's why he always wins. So Vegeta would be more powerful than Goku the instant he starts loving. I'm not kidding. Like, the instant Vegeta starts loving, he'd probably beat Goku. I haven't watched every episode of Dragon Ball Z. I know there's probably going to be an episode eventually where, you know. But that's why he's following behind Goku. Because Goku does know his aggression. Goku does use his aggression. It happens in battle. Vegeta's a little bit too much on it. But at the same time, there's still a lot you can learn from Vegeta. And when the student is ready, the teacher appears. In my life, I had a Vegeta manifest. I'm not kidding. That guy named Alex who I was talking about, he was a real-life Vegeta. I watched as this dude who was like this tall to me would be in a room I remember this one time it was fucked up. We were all smoking meth, I know. And there was like 6 people that paid for the meth, right? And we're in their house, and this dude's smoking it up, Alex. He's smoking it up, and they're all like, "Is he going to pass my shit?" Like, that's what they're thinking. They're like, "You going to pass us our shit, bro?" But they're not going to say that because this dude has such a master at this energy. He's unbalanced because he's so in it. Not good. But technically speaking, he is the right teacher to learn from. And I learned a lot. I learned more from that one human being than any human being on the earth. I'm not kidding. Like, I learned more from that one human being for like the month that I was with him than any other human being. Besides Kevin Trudeau, who taught me everything I'm teaching you now. But I never met him personally. This is the only human being that I ever met personally. He taught me so much, so quickly through this energy. And I watched as he smoked their shit, and they said, "You going to give us a hit?" And he's like, "Nope." And I watched as like 6 people like just crumpled. He was a malignant narcissist, you know, so don't be that guy. But I'm just saying, he like knew that I'm going to smoke all your shit. All the money you spent, I'm going to smoke it all in front of you. I'm going to do something you want. And it's all mine. You're not going to get any of it. And I'm not even going to have to lift a finger because the energy is so dominating that they won't even do anything anyway. And I do that